Hey, what's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, so this episode is all about improving your game by practicing correctly. I don't know, I've been playing a lot of public golf the last couple weeks, and I gotta say that I have seen some of the worst practice habits I've ever seen in this game before. So today we're going to talk a little bit about why your game is not making it to the golf course. In other words, why is it that you can do 90% of the stuff to your target here, but then you get to the golf course and you fall apart? And today that I'm an intermediate, a low intermediate golfer, and I want to get better, right? So what do? So I think the best place to start is to recognize your skill level, where you are and where you want to go. I assume if you've made it to the course, you started playing, you're starting to realize that there is an essential makeup to the way the game is designed. In other words, if you get good at certain aspects of the game, other aspects of the game become extremely simple for yourself. And I would say for beginners out there, you got to pay your dues. And I would say that most of your chips are going to be between 20 and 30 yards away from the hole. So that would actually be the second to the third pin, or to the fourth pin. So that's the range you should be practicing from, and most of your shots are going to come out of the rough. So I'd say that's where you should probably be focusing and prioritizing. I'm going to be chipping here to the third pin, which is right over there, right? And essentially what we're going to be doing, guys, is we're going to be working on the type of pitches that you are most likely going to have on the course. And I think if I'm playing to improve my score, I want to work on the range that I'm going to see the most often. I'm going to give myself decent lies, but nothing crazy. And the reality is, at your level, all you should be thinking about is where you want to land it. So there's a dark green circle over here, and I'm just going to try and land it on that. Which I did. The ball is going to roll all the way out. Now, this of course is assuming that you've developed the technique. And if you have, then all you're doing is you're just hitting the spots. Just like so. So that's a much better pitch. And now we have 4 feet. Yeah, maybe 5. All right. So we're just going to hit 2 to 3 balls, and again, all we're doing is landing it on a spot, because when we get to the course, that's what we want to think about. We want to think about landing it on a spot. Just like so. And then having the ball, react the way we assume it will, which is, for me, it's one bounce, check, trickle out. And so after a few shots, you guys will start to have a shot pattern that you'll see, assuming you have proper technique. And from there, you can start working on getting closer and closer to the hole. So let's say you pick a spot here, but the spot needs to be maybe a foot to the right of that and a foot forward. You change your spot and you work towards that goal, now hitting that spot at a certain trajectory. Now notice all 3 of those shots that I hit, they were at like a mid trajectory. Obviously we can go higher or lower with that depending on what you're comfortable with, but find a stock shot, guys. If you are a 20 handicap, you need a stock shot out of the rough to a 20 to 30 yard target. And that's what you should be practicing short game wise.